You know what time it is. It's Friday night, baby. September 24th, 2021. Welcome. Another week has gone by, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, and we are live on YouTube. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, 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 indeed. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, 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 indeed. That's what the mug says. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the hottest podcast across the land, the hottest podcast across the globe, and definitely, ladies and gentlemen, definitely the hottest podcast on YouTube Live. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. This is Mixture of Variety. I go by the name of Patient Zero. Give it up one time. Give it up one time. All right. Studio audience, where you at? Studio audience. Oh, yes, indeed. Woo! That's that energy that we need tonight, baby. We got a special show tonight. Really, when do we not have a special show? You feel me? Every show is special. But tonight we have a special guest. He'll be joining us in a little bit, and he goes by the name of Jungle Justin. Jungle Justin. Listen, if you guys don't know, this is a mixture of variety, which means it's a variety show, which means we can have guests from all across the globe talking about all different topics, and that's why it's a beautiful thing. And that's why we love it, you know? That's why we love it. Kind of messes up sponsors a little bit, kind of messes up people, a little bit confused. You know, if you're listening to a podcast and you want to hear the same thing, you're in the wrong spot, ladies and gentlemen. You're in the wrong spot. This is definitely a variety show. And we talk to several different people about several different topics. Now, speaking of several different people, as you can notice by now, my girl, my other half, Nikki P, is not joining us because she's on vacation. So, you know, give it up one time. That's cool. It's all right. It's all good. She needs it. She needs it. She could use it. You know, nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs a vacation every once in a while. But I'm happy to report that it's a good reason, and it's not because she had to work overtime or she had to, you know, or she was sick or something like that. So, either way, this is Mixture of Variety. If you're tuning in for the first time, it is a mixture of ideas and a variety of topics, which equals Mixture of Variety. We truly do put the odd in pod. We truly do. And the guests that we have make it real. You know what I'm saying? The guests add the flair to the show. And we definitely try to stand out. Because a lot of people have podcasts these days. But we definitely have to stand out. And I feel like we stand out in a lot of ways. For example, first of all, like I already said, we talk about anything and everything. So the highlighted topics of what we talk about, because we have an audio show too, not just YouTube. We have an audio show. You can check us out live on Castbox, on the Castbox app, Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes we have bonus shows as well. But Monday and Wednesday are the actual shows that get uploaded to Anchor.fm, and then Anchor distributes it all across the globe, meaning every podcast platform imaginable. So right now, if you want to listen to any of our Odd in the Pod, you know, putting the Odd in Pod podcasts, definitely check out, you know, you can just Google us because we'll be on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're everywhere. So some of the topics that we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, mental illness, mental health, addiction, sobriety, recovery, very important. Experiences in a halfway house or rehab, which is pretty hysterical because that's actually where Nikki P and I met. So you can imagine the stories that we have. LGBT life. Shouts to my LGBTQIA plus PTSD alphabet community. I love you all. Relationships, current events and news, sex. We have a show dedicated to sex. Hip hop, mindfulness, spirituality, UFOs and aliens, conspiracy theories. We have a special guest next week, actually. Value for Viral If you guys don't know, you should check him out right now on YouTube. His videos are amazing. And if you want anything to, if you want to learn more about conspiracy theories and all the stuff that's going on in the world that people don't know, very intriguing stuff. And I reached out to him about 2 months ago, and I asked if he wanted to do a podcast. He said he was getting his material together, or his, whatever. And we did an IG live. By the way, follow us on IG as well, at Mixture of Variety on IG. That's the only social media we use, at Mixture of Variety on IG. But anyway, we had a good 45-minute or so conversation, and now he's joining me next Friday, a week from today, live for an actual podcast, not just an IG. You know what I'm saying? An IG live. Regardless of what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, above all, positive energy and laughs. That's what it's about. Everybody, when they're doing the podcast, for the most part, you're talking about your thoughts, views, and opinions, right? I'm guilty of it. Why else would you have a podcast and not do that? You talk about your thoughts, views, and opinions. Nikki P is here with me. Thoughts, views, and opinions. That's just what it is. But there's more to it. The reason why we even got in this pod industry, if you will, and we even wanted to do it, and the reason why it's our favorite hobby now, and it's my passion. I put a lot of work and effort and energy into it, is because of the life experiences, the strength, and hope. Because if we can make, we make shows to entertain people. Don't get me wrong. We have to have the balance, just like the balance in life. We have a huge variety, if you will, of shows. So, of course, we're going to have that balance. But even if we have some of the heavy shows that we're talking about, or some of the mental illness or mindfulness or addiction or something like that, some of them can get real. Some of them can get real heavy. And that just shows that we're a really authentic podcast. So I just wanted to mention that as well. The disclaimer, guys, don't get scared off already. The disclaimer is, if you are hypersensitive or get butthurt easy, this podcast is definitely not for you, bro. Sick and twisted dark humor, vulgar uncensored language, and politically incorrect conversations are just some of the things, and fun, you'll hear on Mixture of Variety, which means listener discretion is definitely advised. Big shouts to Granny, who was the third co-host of the show, and she's in the audience as well. She's actually sleeping right now, but she's just a wild lady. We love her to death, and we couldn't get enough of her. She was here all the time. Her aides started bringing her here all the time, and we found out that she had Alzheimer's and dementia, so we put her in her corner, like a VIP section, but it was really the Alzheimer's and dementia section. It was only her. And then we found out that she had gang tats, and this lady was 99 years old at the time, and she was in the parking lot smoking meth and DMT. She brought a 3-foot dildo to the show one day, and now she brings it every day, even if it's not a sex show. She is a wild, hot mess, for sure. But we absolutely love her to death. We absolutely love her to death. Now, I'm going to breeze through these real fast because our special guest is going to be here any second. But we do mini holidays as well, and I want to see if any mini holidays can relate to today's show or not. Some of these are just funny, some of them are random, and some of them are just ridiculous. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. So I did say the date before. That was really good. Happy about that. One second here. What is this? I was really happy about that. I want to I just want smooth sailing. That's all I want. Just smooth sailing. Smooth sailing. All right, I think we'll have smooth sailing now. All right, let's knock these out really quick. Oh. Here we go. Here we go now. All right, let's knock these out. It is Festival of Latest Novelties. I mean, you see what I'm saying? These are pretty random. Gallbladder Good Health Day. Did you guys celebrate that today? Good. I hope you did. And if not, it's German Butterbrat Day. What the hell is Butterbrat, though? That's what I want to know. Butterbrat? I'm not sure. Not exactly sure what that is. Hug a Vegetarian Day. Do you guys know some vegetarians or vegans? Maybe you don't even know and you gave them a hug. Or maybe you did and you gave them a hug. Kiss Day. Pretty random, but to the point. Kiss Day. All right. It is also Lash Stylish Day. Lash Stylist Day. Okay. Love Note Day. Oh, how cute. I'm going to throw up. National. I'm also hoping I'm not too loud because last week I was too low and people were complaining about it in the comments. And I knew that I was anyway. And Nikki P was a little loud and I was a little low. So hopefully I'm not. Hopefully the volume's all right and hopefully the music is all right. There's also National Brave Day, ladies and gentlemen. National Brave Day. I think we're all brave getting through this madness that's been going on lately, right? I definitely feel like that. Interesting. It is also, ladies and gentlemen, well, we're gonna knock these out. We're gonna knock these out. We're gonna knock these out, bruh. We're gonna knock these out, bruh. National Bluebird of Happiness Day. All right. National Cherries Jubilee Day. Don't even know what that is. National Punctuation Day. Well, that's good. National Punctuation Day. Native American Day, ladies and gentlemen. Native American Day, very important. Save the Koala Day. Oh, that's cool. That kind of connects. I was hoping that there was going to be some kind of mini holiday that connects with what we're talking about. Know what I'm saying? Save the Koala Day. That's cool. We're going to get all into it, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be here any second. Jungle Justin. We're going to talk about everything. It's going to be a fun show. And last but not least, it's Sport Purple for Platelets Day. If you can't get more random than that, then I don't know what to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is mini holidays for this beautiful Friday evening. September 24th, 2021. Give it up one time. Oh, okay. All right, so obviously, like I said, we have a special guest today. And we have a special guest next week because Nikki P will also be out next week. However, the week after that, I believe 2 Fridays in a row, we're golden. We're good to go. And then I think possibly the next week after that, whatever, we're way into October now. We'll figure it out. I mean, like, that's just what we've been doing. We'll figure it out. We'll basically just play it by ear, and we'll do 1 week at a time and literally one show at a time. Just one show at a time. When this show is over, you know, I'll watch the stats and everything and try to promote it and stuff like that, like I usually do. But then Monday, boom, it's right back to Friday's show. And that's the thing. Like, I hope you guys are listening to the live show on Castbox. But if not, a lot of people don't. We just use that for a platform to record our show. That's all it is. A bonus. 95% of podcasts are just like that. 95% of podcasts, they are just recording it. They're recording the podcast, they edit it, and then they upload it. First of all, we don't edit anything. We want it to be as authentic as possible, okay? We want it to be as authentic as possible. And because of that, we don't edit anything, but also we do it in a place where we can also have guests. We can also have people come in the room, and while we're doing our podcast and while we're not editing anything, we're also responding to people in the chat that are asking questions or that are saying, you know, that are saying something, that are saying important things, that are saying things to bash us. You know, those are the people you gotta not pay any attention to, the trolls, because they do exist and they're around. They're definitely around. But so it's kind of, you know, it's a game. You kind of maneuver through all that while we're still focusing on what we're talking about for that night. And it's a lot of fun. And we've been doing the audio show since February of 2020, ladies and gentlemen. February of 2020. Right before the pandemic. That's a long time. That is a long time. And we've learned a lot. We definitely grew. I mean, we grew as podcasters. We also grew as human beings. The people that we reach, you know, we, like I would say, we put this out into the universe, and whoever's on the other side to receive it, you know, we don't know. There's only been a couple incidences where it's actually been an issue, and it's been a problem where it got to a really bad place, where there was some people that, even a scary place, that no one would have guessed that that's what would have happened in the room, or that's what was going to happen in the room, or that's what they were going to talk about. You know what I mean? So yeah. So we learned a lot. You know, it's such a beautiful thing that we're a variety show. You can literally go back. You can think of any topic right now. Just think of any topic in your mind right now, and you can go back to our 260 shows that are still up there on every podcast platform. I don't know for how long, and I don't know how much memory we have. I don't know how much space we have. I don't know. But while it's up there, you know what I mean? While it's up there, check it out and tell your people, tell a friend, tell a significant other, tell your mom, tell your pet. But basically what I'm saying is I have a passion to do the audio show as well. I do the audio show a lot more than Nikki PL and do it once a week with her. But we build up, you know, we're building this empire brick by brick, and nothing is going to stop us. We know that. You know, we practice law of attraction. We practice manifesting what we want. And when is it going to happen? Who knows? 5 months, 5 years? We'll see. A lot, you know, that's really not up to us. As long as we continuously do the work and focus and touch the people and talk to the people and you know, say the right things and be professional about it, even if we're joking around. And also we have to stand out. But we thought and we knew that to take a podcast to the next level, what do? If you're not, Joe Rogan, well, even Joe Rogan did it because he put it on some type of video, right? It was on YouTube or Spotify, whatever it is. You can actually watch him. So we knew that was the next step. So January 8th came along of this year, and we said, we have to do it. We have to do a YouTube show. So, here we are. We love it. It's so much fun. It's so much different than the audio show. It's definitely 100% different. Shouts to everybody watching live. This is the live broadcast. And yes, Nikki P is not here, as you see. No worries. She's on vacation this Friday and next Friday. She'll be back the following Friday. And nobody can use a vacation more than her. So I'm very happy about that. So don't worry. She'll be back in a couple weeks. And we do have a special guest coming on any second. He did text me a little while ago. It's all right. Hey, when you're live, these things happen. Last week, the first 6 minutes of the show was live, and Nikki P and myself couldn't do anything. We couldn't put ourselves in the live boxes. We couldn't figure out the music. And then once we got it started, we had I was hearing double. I would hear myself 5 seconds later after I talk. What are you going to do? Live is live. But when we actually had to switch programs because we were having even more issues. So we had to make sure to come back and, because if you're paying for it monthly, you already know. If you're paying for it monthly, that shit better work. And you better have good Wi-Fi as well. All right, let me see. I believe I don't see him, but wait, are you there? All right, wait, I think you're there. Let's see. Let's bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, a special guest. Give it up one time for Jungle Justin in the building. He made it.
Oh.
What up, what up?
Wow, that was difficult. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you good. You hear me?
All right. Yeah. My microphone, cool. It wasn't working there for a long time. I was trying to get it going.
All right. Hey, listen. Shit happens, man. It's a live show. It's all good.
My bad. I'm the jungle man. I'm not the technology guy.
The jungle man. The jungle man. Yes, sir. Yo, we got to get all into it because I am very intrigued. But first, let me just say thank you so much for coming on, obviously. And thank you for, reaching out. It's kind of crazy when you just how powerful hashtags can be in YouTube or IG or other forms of. It is kind of crazy because you never know. You
never know who's watching. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've met some really interesting people through this social media game.
Yeah. All right. That's what's up. I mean, this is a perfect show too because it's a variety show. So honestly, everything and anything we'll talk about, and awesome. We have over 260 audio shows that we've been doing since last February. I mean, I was just telling people before you hopped on. Basically, if you think of any topic in your head, go on Spotify or Apple, wherever, and just type in Mixture of Variety. You'll find it. You'll find that topic.
I was looking at some of your stuff. Yeah.
All right. So let's get right into it, bro. You want to introduce yourself, let people know who you are and what's going on with you?
Well, I'm Jungle Justin. I am everybody's favorite jungle man.
All right.
This year, 2020, when this whole crazy pandemic thing happened, there was a lot of lack of volunteers, lack of help. Conservation kind of crashed for a bit, where they had nobody to help during all the early lockdowns and stuff. So I started the Jungle Squad, which is, which side is it? Right here. Jungle Squad is a non-profit organization, basically. It's a membership thing. We've got a Patreon. We've got all kinds of merch that we use. And I've been using that to help conservation projects all over the world, like the forgotten ones, underfunded, those kinds of projects. Because we all know big conservation doesn't go towards conservation.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So this
They
is
made
more like
$300 million this year, and not
oh,
much
wow.
has changed. So
Yeah, right.
you know,
Well, I mean, that's the animals. The animals must applaud people like you. People that are really
I do my
advocating for them and
best.
sticking up.
I wish I could make that kind of money because it would actually go to a good cause, right?
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
And we try to spread the word.
Yeah, definitely. So you're in Canada right now?
Right now, I'm in Canada. Yeah, Ontario, Canada, to be exact.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, you've been there your whole life?
Yeah. Not just Ontario. I've lived all across Canada, back and forth.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I've moved around quite a bit, being an entertainer. I do live stage shows, is what I used to do before all of this crazy no gathering thing. Events,
Yeah.
fairs, festivals. That was my gig, right? I'd go around the country teaching people about wildlife conservation, things like that.
Oh, wow.
Let them interact with live animals on stage during these events. It was lots of fun. People used to have lots and lots of fun. Since the COVID thing, though, I just haven't been able to get on stage. There's no events, so
yeah,
we started this thing and started moving this online. Got on Instagram, got on Facebook. Like I said, I'm the jungle guy. I don't know this technology world. I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah. You got to be in the jungle, Actually,
right?
I got to go in the jungle right now. Hold on. Here we go.
There we go. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
I feel more at home now. See?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I knew I forgot something. I forgot to put that up. Yeah. Well, listen, I was definitely going to ask you that because, I mean, obviously the pandemic, messed up a lot of people's career. And I mean, obviously small businesses that shut and, families of four that were doing okay within a month that are on a food bank line, and how terrible the after effects was. Not COVID itself, but the after effects.
Mental health all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So when your main gig is to, perform in front of people and be around people all the time, that's got to be really hard just to say, one day, well, guess what? Now you can't do it. And even now you can't do it.
No, actually, Ontario's kind of doing some weird stuff, which I guess we can get into more details on it later, but they're doing this vaccine passport thing. So, I mean, they're starting to limit who's allowed in events, who's not allowed in events, and it's getting a little crazy up here, starting actually just the 22nd, they started all of this. So once again, wow. I'm not going to step in the wrong spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Touching the animals is a big part of what I do with people. Because I say, if you can get the animal in their hands, it changes the whole way they look at it as well. Right.
Absolutely.
Snakes, all the scary animals is what I deal a lot with. I help people with a lot of fears and stuff like that as well. So, I mean, without them being able to interact with it, it kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And then people got to be able to trust me and stuff, and they find it weird when you're talking like this all the time and you can't see your face. And so I just haven't done many events. I did a couple birthday parties here and there when we opened back up, but Canada's been it opens up slightly and then it closes again, and then it opens up and then it closes again. So it's been, no one's really been planning any of the good events, basically.
Yeah, that's terrible, man. And I feel like it's going to be like that for a long time. I don't feel like we're going to get to the end of this anytime soon. It's going to be exactly the same thing here in some states. It's things are going to start opening up and then they close again. You could take
Well,
your mask off
yeah.
and then put your mask back on. You know.
So far, what I've noticed is it goes from Australia, then it hits Canada, then it hits the States. It's like these rules, they start in Australia, then they move to Canada, then they come to the States. So it's like the mandate thing and all of this, it's coming down to the States eventually.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I mean, Australia right now is, worse than North Korea.
Australia is insane.
I can't,
What's
I just pray for them and, do what I can do. But the footage that I see, now I'm not even talking about mainstream media, but the footage that I see on, Telegram and Rumble and stuff like that, where you see the real deal. It's I just can't believe it. It looks like it's a movie to me.
It's insane. I
can't believe it.
The entire thing, like right now, just being myself here in Canada, I'm almost to the point right now with this passport thing. There's a gentleman I seen got arrested for buying a coffee because he was unvaccinated, and he went in and bought a coffee.
Wow.
He wanted to sit down to eat, and they told him no, and it turned into a whole thing where he ended up getting arrested for buying a coffee and wanting to drink his coffee, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane.
They want your ID. They want proof of vaccination before you're allowed to be served in non-essential businesses right now here in Ontario. So
yeah,
it's getting a little intense. It's starting to feel a little weird.
Yeah, very weird, right?
I grew up in Canada, so it was like it was a very free country. I know the States has got their whole what is it? The Constitution, right? You guys have?
Yes.
We have our Charter of Rights, and you've been allowed to move freely around Canada. That's part of our Charter of Rights, is that any Canadian citizen can move freely about the country. And we haven't been able to move freely for 2 years.
Wow, yeah.
So, I mean, we're waiting.
And I don't think you have, I don't think that Trudeau, is that his name, Trudeau?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, do you think he's a borderline communist? I feel like he is like, he gets hard when he talks about China. He
definitely likes talking about China. He talked about China before all of this.
He wants to be a dictator. Like
he mentioned before all of this that China, he admired how China had it all together and how he had
right.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden this stuff happens, and now he just pushed a snap election. We just had an election for no reason. $600 million seat shuffle was all it was, because he's still prime minister. There was no way he was going to lose. There was like no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no prep. Nobody knew it was coming. He just snap election. We're going to have an election in the middle of a pandemic. And that makes sense. Let's spend $600 million on that instead of helping people.
Yeah, right. Damn. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much, and I feel like the one thing that I feel that comforted by is that we're all in this together. If you really think about it.
Well, and that's the thing. I keep telling people, whether they're vaccinated or unvaccinated, they shouldn't be down for this. This is so un-Canadian. It's un-North American. Just generally to exclude people from an activity. I've never imagined that in Canada. Right.
And now it's not even all recreational activities, but now people are losing their jobs left and right. I had to lose a job.
I know a lot of people who have actually been fired. Or not fired, but they've been threatened.
Yeah.
If they don't go get the vaccination, they will be terminated.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's insane.
Yeah, that happens way too often. And then attempting to get other jobs that's one of the first questions that they ask. It's just like, fuck you. No, I don't have it, and I'm not getting it. So,
And
but the
that's
thing
one
is,
of the cool things about Ontario. From what I'm understanding, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm the jungle man.
yes,
But from what I'm understanding is that there is a law. It's a privacy law here in Ontario that states that it's illegal to ask for someone's medical information. So asking for the vaccination proof is actually illegal, but they're pushing it still. It's like really
right.
confusing.
Yeah, it's called HIPAA down here. I don't know if it's HIPAA in Canada too, but it's the same thing. You're not supposed to ask, and you're not supposed to tell. It's completely your business, if you want to let that information out.
Yeah, ours
so
is
it's
the
just
Privacy and Information Act or something like that. I believe it's called.
yeah, all right. but yeah, like you definitely you hit a point too, saying that it's not just unvaccinated against the world. Although I do feel like that sometimes, and I have to realize sometimes that it's not just me against the world, and it's not just me against the corner, because I have like 80 billion people behind me just in the States anyway. Yeah. And so I have to keep, reminding myself about that, and connecting with people online, and connecting with people on podcasts, and doing whatever I can do. But I personally know people who got it and is completely against the fact that there's no choice. Yeah. The medical tyranny that is happening right now, where you're saying you have to get it, even when people are you either choose to get it or you choose not to get it, and that's just where it should stop.
Just to pin people in a corner like that is even, it's just sus right there.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you going to gain people's trust? If this is all good and the vaccine is what they want and it's all happy and everybody's really trying to help everybody, then why would you push it the way that they're pushing it? It just, like, you're not going to gain those people's trust at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to make it worse.
Yeah, you're not going to get Alex Jones or any of those crazy guys on there going, take the vaccine, because they're just like, they're pushing it so hard on people. Yeah. I think it's the same with the masks. Like, I think honestly, when they started the masks here in Canada, because we're a very polite culture here in Canada, right? We say sorry for everything. We're always like waving people in at a stop sign, even when it's not their turn. We're like, yeah, you go. And we'll hold the door for somebody who's 100 feet away from the door. We'll hold it till they get there.
So the total opposite of New York. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. We're a very, very polite culture. So we're kind of just trying to be nice about it and whatever. But when they said you have to wear the masks, immediately everybody was like, no. It was like, once you push it on people, then they don't feel free anymore. And when they don't feel free anymore, they're going to resist. And just the way they went about it, it just didn't hit people properly.
Yeah, either. Right. Exactly. It's a complete shit show, and every day I feel like there's always something new.
It never stops.
It just never stops, and it really does give me a migraine when I'm thinking about it. And I have done, several podcasts about it. But you know what? Forget all that for a second. Let's talk about animals.
Yeah, I love animals.
So how long have you been intrigued by animals? Like, how long were you obsessed? Maybe is the right word. I don't know. Maybe not.
Obsessed is probably the right word. Since I was a little kid, I got these. They were like flashcard things, and they were National Geographic. And they were like, you could fold them open, and each one was about a different animal. And I got this, I don't know who gave them to me. Someone gave them to me. And it was like millions of these little animal cards, and I could read through each animal. And that's kind of what started it. And then Steve Irwin. You remember Steve Irwin?
Of course. That's one of my questions for you.
Crocodile hunter. Yeah. He was a huge influence on me. When I saw him on TV, I point at the TV and I'd say, Grandma, when I grow up, that's what I want to be. And she'd look at me and she'd shake her head and she'd be like, of course, honey, you can be whatever you want. I don't think she actually expected me to go for it.
Right.
But
that's awesome,
man,
though.
That was,
because at the time he was the man. He was the only one doing anything. He was the only one doing anything like that.
He was the only one getting that close to stuff.
Right.
Showing you like stuff in nature.
Yes.
All the other documentaries were more like staged, and they weren't so. It was all proper nature. It wasn't like raw, uncut. Look at this crocodile might actually eat this man who's trying to show it to you. Like that was
Yeah.
intense. It was the coolest
Yeah.
show I had ever seen.
Yeah.
And the fact that he got that close to these animals that I was fascinated with, and his enthusiasm, the way he was so excited about everything. He'd get bit
Oh,
on the
yeah.
hand and he'd be
He
like,
was.
"Look at that! That hurts!" And he'd be
Right.
like, you know,
Yeah. He was obsessed. I could use
oh,
that word for him. He was the
oh
he
yeah,
lived, breathed, and actually he probably had animals in his bed with him. You know, when he woke up, he probably had animals in the bathroom. You know, but yeah, exactly. He was amazing. He was an incredible guy.
no,
Um,
he did a lot for animals as a whole. Like, think about what people used to think of crocodiles before him. They were just prehistoric beasts that ate, and that was all we ever thought of these things.
right, true.
When he came along, he showed us that they actually had lives, that they thought beyond just killing and eating all the time, right?
Yeah,
And he gave them a bit more of a personality for people. And
absolutely. Yeah,
once that happened, then all these conservation initiatives started kicking in. The government wanted to actually start helping crocodiles instead of exterminating them.
right.
He did amazing work for reptiles in general. There was a huge stigma on them for years and years and years.
Yeah, yeah. And he definitely changed that for sure. That was incredible. And now, you know what I really love? The fact that his daughter, does he have a son too? I think his daughter is like full blown into it now.
Yeah, they both
Because his daughter,
because they still own the zoo. That family, right?
I think so.
They own the Australian Zoo, so it's they run it. They work there. They do their thing, and then they have conservation projects and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, yeah. Because I always remember his daughter when she was like mad young.
Yeah,
You know, holding
she
a
was just a
scorpion or
little
something.
like a little baby. Yeah, like
Right. Just
3-year-old.
here, hold this scorpion or hold this snake. It's like, oh my god, what?
That's like my kids, bro. You should see what some of my kids get to do.
Yeah, I bet.
My oldest, he's 13 now. He's played with crocodiles. He's played with snakes. He's played with everything you can think of. Growing up, teaching him how to catch stuff.
I totally believe it. You know, talking
Yeah.
to you, I totally believe it. And now that's so great because he's not going to be afraid.
No, that kid's
He's
fearless.
he's gonna yeah. I mean, he's gonna be curious. He's gonna want to know more about whatever it is, and he's gonna look at things differently than other kids.
No, yeah.
You know.
He wants to come to Jamaica with me, but unfortunately, this trip is just me. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
He might
Yeah.
get to come one day.
Yeah. What's
Come
the
and wrestle
Jamaican?
some wild ones.
What's are you going there for a particular reason? Obviously, I'm assuming.
So the conservation of the crocodiles in Jamaica, actually, they
Oh,
are
okay.
almost extinct on the island. It's actually quite sad. So due to poaching and development of the island, there's less habitat. The crocodile populations declined from 4,500 to 750.
Oh, Jesus! Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of poaching going on, which is a bad thing. Mostly for crocodile meat, but a lot of it is fear as well. People are scared of them, right?
Yeah.
When they get too close to the population, people tend to get scared. The crocodile, even it doesn't just happen in Jamaica, it happens all over the world. When a crocodile gets too close to people, it normally ends up dead. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Where people like me are trying to educate, because you don't have to necessarily be scared of them. You just have to be educated about them, and the proper
Exactly.
programs put in place. We have coexistence programs that are all over the world for all different types of animals, that allow animals and people to live together, right? So it's just
Hell yeah.
educating the public and making sure people know there's crocodiles in that area. Or if that's maybe not a good area for the crocodiles, we need to move them to a better area. It's not that it's
Wow.
not rocket science, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
keeping people and crocodiles a little more separate.
Yeah, right. Hey, listen, I applaud your work, man. That's pretty fascinating. Pretty
Yeah.
fascinating stuff that you do.
So I'm going down there to check out this. It's called the Holland Bay Crocodile Sanctuary. Down in Jamaica, it's in St. Thomas there. He's working on a breeding program, other things like that. So we're going to check that out because the Jungle Squad, like I said, we raise money for projects like that. So I'm going down to meet Luis Hernandez, is the director of that project. Meet him face to face finally, and check out his little operation he's got going on. It's a unique place. It's like no other crocodile sanctuary in the world.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
nice.
All natural enclosures.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful looking place from what I've seen.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope you enjoy yourself. I have a question for you.
What's that?
What is the most dangerous animal that you ever had to handle or come across?
That's hard.
I
Because
bet there's a lot.
A lot of people, it depends on what you seem as dangerous, right? Because most people would consider me working with like a 6 or 7 foot like a Nile crocodile. People would consider that dangerous.
I mean, absolutely, right?
I don't
I would too.
necessarily consider that so dangerous as like, I worked with a hippo once and they look fun and friendly, but that animal's huge. And if she just sits on you, you're popping like a blueberry.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would consider the hippo probably way more dangerous than like the Nile crocodile or the.
I've seen hippos fight.
Weight.
I've seen hippos
hippo
fight before.
Squish you up against a wall by accident and you're.
By accident, right? True.
Yeah, so you got to be aware of where you're standing at all times, where they're at. You're not even really allowed in with them like we were sometimes.
Yeah, they're massive.
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge animal. And even I, like, as the animal guy, you see them on TV and you're like, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas, right? But when you see it up close, like even when you're standing at a zoo, any zoo that I've been to all across Canada, you stand at a zoo and you look at a hippo from the people side, it's nothing compared to standing right next to it. Like it's just such a massive animal.
Yeah,
it's bigger than any horse. It's bigger than a cow. It's like, it's so daunting when you're next to them. Same with I worked with an Asian rhino once.
Oh wow, Jesus.
That was pretty cool in Calgary, and you couldn't put your hand because his head was so massive, and we had to stay on the other side of. They were like these bars for just in case. But you had to keep there was this hole where he'd stick his head through and you could give him all the food he wanted and stuff and you could feed him, but you could not put your hands anywhere where that bar is in between his head, because if his head hit your hand up against those bars,
it's a wrap.
Your hand, just such a big animal. He wouldn't even know he did it.
Right, exactly. Kind of like the hippo. Like you don't even know that. Oh, I just broke 80 of your bones. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I just took your fingers off with my head.
Right.
Yeah. Where the crocodile, at least they know what they're trying to do. That's why I don't think it's as dangerous.
Yeah, true. Right.
The rhino will crush you without thinking of it, right? Without even, he's just hanging out.
Yeah, right.
Where like a crocodile, you're aware that thing wants to hurt you majority of the time.
Right.
So you're more complacent with like a big cuddly animal than you are with a dangerous animal, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I've worked with Nile crocs. I've worked with snakes, 20+ foot snakes. Those are pretty dangerous.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you never work with them alone.
Oh yeah, they would
I see
just
some of these guys on YouTube, and they're like one guy, and they're like, "Look at my snake," and I'm like, "That could end so badly."
oh yeah, start wrapping you up, and that's it.
Oh man, I wouldn't handle anything over 10 feet without at least two people in the room
Yeah.
because you never know, man. They
Do you
don't
know?
actually look at humans as food, but you
Yeah.
don't want to take the chance that something could go wrong. It
No,
just looks
absolutely not.
bad on the whole community as well, right?
True. That's
Because they
true.
use that right now. There's a huge, especially since this COVID thing started, that Tiger King. You guys, everybody's seen Tiger King.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Tiger King was, I don't know, it was kind of a mix. It was like a huge blow to the animal industry, as well as it kind of got a bunch of people famous, I guess.
I mean, yeah, a bunch of people
Um,
famous, but I don't think it
Not
was.
necessarily for the right things,
Yeah, right. I don't think
but
it was a
they're all
good call
making
for the
money.
animals.
They're all making huge money. That Cameo, you know that Cameo?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right.
You can go on Cameo and get like a cameo from Carol Baskins, and
Yeah, for like a couple grand or something.
it's some stupid, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
I don't know why you'd want one from them, but um,
Yeah, it
they're
definitely made him
they're
famous.
making money, but the animal industry is hurting. And I mean, we used to do music videos. We used to do stuff like that where like the snake slithers through the screen, and it's like a 5-second blip of a snake in a music video.
Oh,
And the snake wasn't forced to slither across the camera. It wasn't like anything negative. You know what I mean? The snake's being a natural snake, just doing its thing, and we recorded it. And now there's a lot of people who are hesitant to even go near the animals because of Tiger King.
wow.
So that was another huge kind of blow to incomes for all kinds of rescues and animal facilities, right?
Yeah, I always figured that that was not. It was definitely not a positive thing.
No, and
You
that's,
know.
I believe the plan is to just remove all exotic animals eventually.
Uh huh. Right.
And the problem with that is there's no exotic animals where they come from. So the ones that we have in captivity are some of the last ones left on Earth. So if they eliminate the exotic animal industry, then
That's
we're
it.
going to have a whole lot of animals disappear. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I
Like
didn't even
the
look at
hog
it like
island
that.
boa. Yeah. Hog island boas are only, they only exist in captivity right now. Um, there's other kinds of snakes and reptiles and all kinds of exotics that only exist in captivity at the moment because the nature just isn't there, right?
Wow. So what would they have to do? I mean, they would take them away and actually execute these animals, for being like so they're extinct now, or would they put
Um,
them somewhere else and government funded? I don't know.
well, what they're kind of been doing is they've just kind of been introducing law by law to slowly wean everything out, right? So it's like it's a big win because I mean I'm not a big fan of like Marineland or SeaWorld or any of those kinds of places. But here in Canada, they put a law in that you cannot purchase a new orca. You cannot catch one from the wild. Basically, the only orca that our marine land has is the last one that they can ever have in existence. So
Oh
that's an
wow.
example of a law that they put in place that will basically keep that from ever happening again, which great for orcas because an orca isn't exactly an animal that should be in a fishbowl. It belongs in the
Yeah.
ocean. You can't
True.
mimic the
100%.
ocean, right? I'm
Yes.
not all that big on keeping fish and marine life because we can't mimic that. We don't come from that. We don't know. We have an idea, but we don't know what's going on in the ocean, right?
No, not at all.
Um, so to try and keep something that lives all around the world in the ocean in a bowl this big just doesn't make sense. Where like
No.
snakes don't like the open. They don't like being outside. They don't like any of that stuff. They're actually very cowardly creatures by nature. And majority of the time they just sit in like one spot and they stay hidden majority of their life. So to keep something like that in captivity isn't as bad as keeping like an orca.
Right.
You know what I
True.
mean?
Absolutely.
And there's some species of snake that don't do well in captivity, and then there's some species of snake that thrive.
Yeah. Would you be able to? Would you be able? Because I have some family out in Arizona, and there's a lot of different snakes there. And if you're walking some type of path, let's say like a random path, and you just see 3 different snakes, would you know? Okay, that one is poisonous. That one is not, and that one is. I'm not. I'm unsure.
More than likely, I would probably know. I'm trying not to be too
That's
like
awesome. No,
too
that's
cocky, but like, yeah, I would
nah.
if I could
Hey,
see them,
to
I would
your own horn,
definitely
bro.
know. No, I would definitely be able to identify majority of the snakes. There's over 5,000 species of snakes, so I can't say I can identify
Right. I mean,
every
that's
single one.
exactly right. That's what I'm saying. Like that would be
But
kind
when
of
it comes to like,
difficult.
is it dangerous or is it just non-venomous? It's
Yeah. Yeah.
normally fairly easy to tell. Rule of thumb is they've normally got a really big head if they're venomous.
Oh, okay.
They have venom glands, so their head always looks a little more swollen, kind of like a rattlesnake. Where if it's non-venomous, it's probably got a smaller, thinner head.
Oh, okay.
It's probably a constrictor, and that'll mean it constricts its prey.
Gotcha. So you don't just hold out your hand and wait for them to bite and then find out after the fact?
I wouldn't recommend that. No, that wouldn't be my.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Wow.
No,
Yeah, that's some.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool that you can do all that though. For sure.
Well, I've been studying this stuff since I was 6 years old, man. My first snake. So I wanted a pet snake, and I went to my mom and I said, "Mom, I want a pet snake," and she pulled this big, thick book out of the bookstore, and it was probably like this thick. And she threw it at me and she said, "If you read that whole book about snakes," and I don't even know, it was just like names of snakes and where they come from. It wasn't even about keeping a snake. She just gave me the thickest book she could find, I think, to maybe like say he'll forget about it and we won't get a pet snake. But I read that book in like 3 days, man. And I went back to her she asked me questions. She read the book and I could recite the entire book. About all those different snakes, and then I got my first pet snake, man. And from that point on, I just kind of went from there. I've had thousands and thousands of critters. Probably.
That's awesome, bro. I mean, a lot of people don't find, their actual like what they want to do in life, and especially, I mean, not even in their 20s and in their 30s, until it's so difficult to find what you actually really want to do in this life and your passion behind it and all that. And I think that's just so amazing that it came to you at such a young age.
No, I'm definitely blessed to have done what I've done for as long as I have now. It's been over 10 years. I've been my own professional wildlife presenter between working for zoos and different organizations. And then now I'm been fully independent for the last 6 years.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, not everybody gets to do what they love for a living. So I definitely appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. And I try to do, I always try to make everything we do a plus. So it's never we win, they lose. If anybody loses, it's us at that point, right?
Yeah.
When I went off independent on my own, I started in 2016. I started a exotic animal rescue, where in the first 3 years we brought in 300 animals in the first 3 years that we brought in and rehomed to new forever homes.
Wow.
And they were just unwanted pets and animals that just were misplaced.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah, especially we were only a 750 square foot unit in Dundalk, Ontario, which is like the middle of bumfuck and you got a pretty mouth.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
It's like
Right.
the middle of nowhere out here. So I mean, the fact that we were pulling that off, I had a good team with me, a couple of my buddies, and we pulled it off, and we got quite a few animals rehomed and helped. And my stage shows that I was doing before all of this craziness, that's what was helping fund all of the rescuing and the vet bills and the cost
Oh,
of
there
the
you go.
commercial unit and stuff like that. Yeah. So it worked out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this might not be a big deal to you, okay? But I got to tell you this story anyway.
Yeah.
I was walking. I was walking in like a hiking trail, but
Okay.
I wasn't really. It was more like flat than a hiking trail. But anyway, I'm walking because where I live in New York, it's about an hour north of the city, so I'm not in the city. I'm more up by the suburbs. Anyway, I'm walking and I see these two enormous birds. Right, so I'm thinking, I was like, wow, those are enormous turkey vultures.
Okay.
And I've seen turkey vultures
Where are
several
you
times.
located again? Sorry.
Um,
Just so I can get a
well, I
grasp
mean,
of where you're
like
at.
about an hour north of New York City
Okay. Okay. Okay.
in New York.
So you're not
So
too far from me. You're getting the same type of animals, basically.
yeah.
Okay.
But this never happened to me. All right,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old.
Two
I'm
big ass
40 years
birds.
old. Two big ass birds. That's happened to me before. But I'm looking and I can't believe how enormous they are. And I get
Yeah.
closer and they get closer and they're literally circling me and nobody else. And come to find out they're bald eagles, bro.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Right?
Yeah, man.
The only time I've ever seen a bald eagle, maybe twice
Especially
in my
down
life.
around this area, because they're not doing too well around here still.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's probably why, not many people see them. And it's always a huge deal if you see them on the tree. If you see them in a tree somewhere in a nest, people are actually literally parking their cars to get out and take pictures. So it's like that. But to see them flying over me, two of them, I mean, that was pretty incredible. That was,
And they're huge, eh? Like massive
huge,
birds. Yeah.
huge.
I worked with a bald eagle when I was on tour. When was it? Like 2015. His name was Rocco, and like just sitting on your arm, it's intimidating, man. When
Oh,
you're
I bet.
handling them and working with them.
Yeah.
He's such a big bird that you're just like he
I
towers
can't
over
even
top of
imagine.
you.
I can't even imagine that. That's
No, it's
crazy.
pretty big.
And probably
They
heavy
get-
too. Kind of heavy.
Well, it's actually because their bones are hollow.
Oh, okay.
It helps them get airborne. It makes them lighter. They're actually only around like 7 or 9 pounds, I think.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
All
Yeah,
right.
they're actually not super, super heavy. But when he steps on you, you're like one of those, like,
Yeah,
it's super lighter
Yeah.
than you thought it was. But
Right.
no, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So listen, I'm gonna let you plug everything in a second, but my last question for you, I just want to know, what is your favorite animal?
Crocodiles.
Crocodiles. All right. You didn't have to think
hands
about that.
down. No, hands down, crocodiles.
Crocodiles. It is.
Crocodiles are the most interesting creature I have come across. They are one of the smartest creatures I've ever worked with. They're the most underestimated. They're also some of the most caring and compassionate animals I've ever
Wow.
been around.
Yeah, that's something that I would have never heard anybody ever say ever.
Yeah, they're actually super compassionate with their young. Their mothers will take care of them for up to 4 years or more until they're developed enough to leave, which is crazy. Most reptiles lay their eggs and you're on your own from there.
Yeah.
So for a crocodile to protect their young for 4 years is a long time.
Oh, absolutely.
And she is devotedly protective. Will die for those babies. And then the males are actually super protective over their females. And when they mate, it's actually very gentle, very loving, very caring. So
Wow.
they're actually very compassionate, very loving animals as well. And then the bond that I've seen with human and crocodilians in captivity is unimaginable.
Wow.
Just like they're your best friend. It's almost like a dog. at some points if the person works with them enough. I know one
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He's well, basically one of my mentors. His name's Steve. He has a alligator. She's 9 feet. He's raised her since she was about 2 feet, and that thing treats him differently than any other human because of the
Wow.
bond that they have together. And that's one of the cool things about their intelligence is they can actually identify individual people.
Yes,
So
yes.
they know that you're you, and they know that they're them, and so
That
on and
is
so
that is probably the most incredible thing when you see, because I've seen YouTube videos and whatnot
yeah.
on it where it's a certain tiger will remember, caretaker or whatever from 2 years ago.
Person,
Yeah, just like that certain person, instead of charging them and ripping their head off, they're charging
And
them and giving them a hug and licking their face.
Oh, it's so cool. And then the alligators, I've seen one caretaker at a zoo I worked for years and years ago. We were just transporting from one enclosure to the next, and he tripped, and him and the alligator both fell. Nobody got hurt really or anything like that, but 9 years later he came back. She would never let him hold him again. Just he came back 9 years later, and she remembered him. She was like, "Oh hell no, you ain't. No, you're the one that dropped me."
9 years later.
Oh man, it was insane. We were like, no, there's no way she remembers.
Right.
She would not let him pick her up. She'd let any of us, but not him. So they've got a memory like never before too. They're just the most incredible creature I've ever worked with. It's hard to describe because most people don't think of them as anything but this giant prehistoric beast.
Yeah. I mean,
it's unreal what you can actually do with them.
Yeah, right. And you got to be fearless at first to even, take that step and into their world.
Yeah, and it's a lot of I would say, like, if you ever wanted to get into it, into working with crocodilians, don't just run out into the lake and find a croc and try to because you're gonna lose an arm.
That's what I was planning on doing after the show.
But if you ever want to get into it, you got to meet somebody that's into it and watch them for a while, because that's what I did. I watched some people, and you learn how an animal moves. It's just like someone who works with horses all of their lives. He knows what that horse is thinking. So someone who works with crocodiles all of their lives, they know what that crocodile's thinking, basically. They know how he can move. They know how he can't move. That's the biggest thing, is knowing how an animal can't move. Because if you know how it can't move, you know where you're safe.
Right.
And you know how close you can get, and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it's mostly, that's the biggest key to working with any animals, is knowing where they can't move.
Wow. Well, listen, this is an absolutely fascinating conversation, and I'm just happy that you're doing what you love to do, but at the same time, it is a win-win. It's a plus, like you said, because not only are you doing what you love, but you're helping all these animals.
Yeah.
And there's not many people on Earth that are doing that, that are going above and beyond like that.
Yeah. No, I try, man. I try with everything I do. Like I said, this COVID thing, I've been doing some construction jobs here and there just to keep up and keep everything flowing and keep everything going. But the internet has been overwhelming for me. I didn't expect people to react as much as they did, and it's been kind of nice, actually.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Well, speaking of that, let people know where they can find you and reach you and get in contact with you. I know social media, it's at Jungle Justin's Wildlife.
That is correct. Yeah. So any Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, those kinds of social media, it's Jungle Justin's Wildlife.
And then you got the Jungle Squad too, right?
And the Jungle Squad is at the Jungle Squad for any of the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And then our Patreon page is patreon.com/Jungle Squad. But there they can actually sign up. It's only $1 a month. And that $1 a month goes towards our underfunded conservation projects that we find. The first one we worked with was a herd of white rhinos in South Africa. It helped with armed guard protection to help prevent poaching. And this year alone, I believe there are over 200 births
Wow.
with that herd. So, I mean, they're doing amazing, amazing things for the southern white rhino. And as a lot of people know, the northern white rhino is extinct now. So, I mean, the southern white rhino is one of the last ones we got. So we gotta help them out.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's not too many projects that are actually doing
right?
on
Not
the
at
ground.
all.
So that's what we try to find, is we try to find the ones that are the biggest impact on the ground.
Absolutely. And guys listening, if you're listening to this live or you're listening to this when it's posted, it is Jungle Squad SKWAD, right?
Yes, that too.
All right.
That SKWAD, and that's serving.
Just want to make sure they can find you.
Acts and deeds. That's why we spelled it like that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
You guys are doing good, man. I'm happy. You know, thanks a lot that you took your time to do this, and you know, it was a great convo, and keep fighting the good fight. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jungle Justin. Give it up one time. All right, man. Thanks again, and stay safe out there. All right. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. We reached about 250 live people, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I was really engaged with this conversation. You feel me? I was engaged. I wasn't watching the whole time, but I love the fact that there's people watching live. That makes me very happy. Big shouts once again to Jungle Justin at Jungle Squad SKWAD. Help him out. He's doing big things. Help him out. Buy a t-shirt. Join the Patreon. He's a good guy. And you can find him all social media at Jungle Justin's Wildlife. Check him out. That is the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Whether it's live or when it's posted, it doesn't matter. It means the world to me. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment. Good or bad, it's all right. We have thick skin. We've gotten some funny comments so far. Funny negative ones. And just funny ones. And share the show to your friends. Share it to a significant other, your friends, your co-worker. Just tell one person about the show, you know? That's how this shit spreads like wildfire. That's how this spreads like the Delta variant. Do you feel me? Castbox, check us out Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you want to catch the live show, if not, all of our audio shows are on every podcast platform imaginable. Just Google us. I'm going to be on Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, the whole nine. You can listen wherever you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to follow us on IG. Instagram is the only social media that we have right now. So, and we'll have. So you need to follow us there at Mixture of Variety. That's at Mixture of Variety. The name of the show, obviously. I will hit you in the head with the craziest banners that you've ever seen in your life. More importantly, I'll hit you in the head with banners that will let you know what we're talking about that evening. Because some people don't want to be surprised, and it is a variety show and we talk about everything, right? So that way you will know. And you'll also know if there's any bonus shows or any other information affiliated with the show. Simple as that. And speaking of that, the last thing I'm going to say is next Friday, we have another special guest, Value for Viral, my man. Value for Viral. Look him up right now on YouTube and you'll see why. I think he's the man. He is a very interesting person. His perspective on things is amazing, and he sees things. He is completely third eye open, awake, not woke. He sees everything how it is, and he's very, very religious as well. He gets a lot of his information from the Bible, but he takes that and uses that as some of the vision that he sees the rest of the globe and the rest of the world and what's going on. And he is an amazing individual. Let's just put it that way. He's an amazing individual. We had an IG live that is still up there on my IG page. If you go to the IG, TV, whatever the fuck it is, click there and you'll see the conversation. We had a conversation for about 45 minutes, but his connection wasn't the greatest. He was like sideways sometimes. The volume wasn't good, and that was just an IG conversation. Finally, we're going to do the actual podcast, and it's going to get real, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get real. With that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Have a great weekend.